keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, sound off in the chat. Appreciate you guys for joining. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. Avert your attention to the poll in the chat as well. I asked you guys what will end up being the #1 safe haven for 2026. We got Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, physical gold and silver, defense stocks, or cash and or real estate. And if you are if you happen to be tuning in post stream, if you're watching the VOD after the fact, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the replies. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? We're still in the bunker. What's going on, Kwame? Happy Monday, my friend. Guys, ISM print is officially in. Let's see if it's on the chart. It is. Unfortunately. And fortunately, it is above 50. Unfortunately, it is significantly lower than what we estimated, and even lower than our last print. However, that being said, we do have 52.6 last month, and we just got 52.4. Above expectations, below February, or I guess below January. Below January's print that came out February 1st. So, February ISM coming in 0.2 points below January, and still well above expansion of 50, so incredibly bullish. We do want to see this continue. Something like this, I wouldn't mind seeing the pop, the little dip, and then the continued rip. Or what else? We got a rip, dip, and rip. You could, probably grab from pretty much anywhere on the chart. The fact that we are above 50 is probably the most important thing. Very exciting. This is why I think Bitcoin popped off this morning, very early this morning, and why I think we're going to possibly continue to see money return to markets, risk on assets, if you will, simply because any of these forever wars, we'll call them, happen to only last like a week at most. So no matter what, at the end of the day, the geopolitical risk, in my opinion, based on what we've seen so far, seems to be the greatest buy the dip opportunity. It is man-made, and it seems to resolve itself very, very quickly. And we can go back to the meme from yesterday where you get war, and if you buy the dip, and you don't get nuked, great, you make some money. And you do get nuked, you're nuked, you're gone. Here, I got it right here. If you don't buy the dip and you don't get nuked, you're sidelined. If you do, then you're nuked. The only reward here is if you buy. If you don't buy, there's really no plus to it at all. It's just kind of all negative. in my opinion. If our cash is truly being inflated to oblivion, then holding on to it doesn't seem to be the smartest thing. Even if you just convert it to precious metals, you know, if you're not a digital asset believer, that's totally fine. Convert it to precious metals, property, stocks, whatever you want to do. I think investing is a crucial part of money, and I think not enough people are aware of that. Kwame said, "Happy Monday, 88 Metals Mania." What's going on, my friend? Kwame said, "I took a short last night because of the war, but the market just does what it wants." It does, actually. The bullish ISM print said no. And the war, I think, started and finished whenever the United States like pressed the launch button or whatever. When they when they asked Claude, they said, "Claude, remove the current Iranian regime. Make no mistakes." That seems to be what happened. I do also thoroughly enjoy the fact that they were very anti-Claude. They were like, "We're not going to use Claude; it's banned." And then Sam Altman was like, "They're going to use ChatGPT instead now." And then we did all this stuff with Iran, and then the military was like, "We used Claude. We like that." And what is Sam Altman doing at that point? He's just like, he's waiting. He's like standing in the waiting room with his hands in his pockets, like kicking. He's like just hanging out, like waiting for them to be done. And then they're done, and like Claude, imagine Claude is a person. Claude walks out, and Sam Altman is just standing there. He's like, like trying not to be mad, trying not to be a little sourpuss. Okay, let's get into it. Bitcoin currently trading down 0.23% on the day, $68,627.01. Today being Tuesday, it is currently Monday EST, but according to the charts, we're in Tuesday. Tuesday, we have the blood moon, which is supposed to be the big fat mega dump on Bitcoin. Let's actually see Bitcoin blood moon correlation. Bitcoin could still rally above 100K soon enough, potentially reaching all-time high. This is literally some random thing from TradingView posted 15 hours ago. Blood moon prophecy: is Bitcoin poised for a surge above 100K? Could be coming. That's weird. Blood moon affecting Bitcoin price? Why? Apparently people are calling it bullish. That's weird. Bitcoin dropping to 60K could crush every stock inside the $1.2 billion ETF. Seller exhaustion. Let me search X really quick. Bitcoin blood moon. This is for science, strictly for scientific purposes, so excuse me. Tonight at 3:33 a.m., the blood moon rises on 3/3. The most spiritually loaded moment in modern history is coming. Something massive is about to shift. You can feel it. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Bitcoin blood moon. Bitcoin. Okay, yeah, we have a chart right here from, unfortunately, a politically motivated poster on X, but who cares? Bam, we got blood moon correlation, dump, blood moon dump, blood moon, looks like pump right there, blood moon pump, blood moon dump, blood moon pump, pump, dump. So shouldn't we get pump pump? Am I wrong? Am I crazy in assuming? Because we get dump, dump, pump, pump, dump, pump, pump, dump. I don't know. That's confusing. It seems to me like there's literally zero correlation if you actually look at it. But I also don't want to piss off the Greek gods or whatever they are. So excuse my blasphemous words. I know not what I say. Let's continue though, guys. Let me know what you think of the poll in the chat. We got 3 votes so far. What will end up being the #1 safe haven for 2026? Bitcoin and crypto, physical gold and silver, defense stocks, or cash and or real estate? Let me know what you think. 88 Metals Mania said, huh? Me, same. I agree. Also, huh? I thought the same thing. I had the exact same thought. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at on the Bitcoin. 12-hour. Wouldn't it be funny if my mic was muted this whole time? Okay, we are eating into some longs down here. 68,361. I feel sharp today. I don't know why. 68,361. Maybe it's because yesterday I was like still recovering from the 12-hour live stream. If you guys haven't tuned into that yet, it was very entertaining. 65, 661. And then the tippity top, the top of the tip, we have, bam, 69, 518. You know what would have been great? You remember Uncle Enrique from the State of the Union? What if that was a poly market or a Kalshi bet? 72, 218. You would have thought with my reaction that I would have made a Kalshi bet that Trump was going to say Enrique or something. Kwame said, I got to try to get some rest, but I'm listening. Appreciate you, Kwame. I will listen to the soothing sounds of my voice as we tune into the financial destruction of the United States dollar and perhaps the collapse of the modern Middle East and installation of a new regime. Coming up next, Bitcoin, $68,563.99. RSI, sitting well above the moving average, perhaps heading down for a retest and a attempted hold. If it does fail, then it will go below. That is just how things work. When you fail a support line, you fall below it. Tom Selleck said, yo, Cuba's on deck, let's go. What does that mean? Is it the poop deck? We got a green dot in the momentum wave pointing to the upside with negative money flow. Let's see where Bitcoin ends up going. Is this going to be a pump and dump? Or is it going to be a hump and rump? Only time will tell. Bitcoin dominance, 59.09, currently trading above 59, which is very nice. Kwame said, LMAO, never mind. What if the entire rest of the stream was like that, and then everyone got mad at you because I started doing it because of you? Everyone's like, Kwame sucks. He made JJ stupid. Even more stupid. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. Beautiful day today. What a beautiful day. All right. Bitcoin dominance up 0.07. 59.06. We're above 59, which is interesting. We got a wick here with some downside pressure. Let's see if we continue to the upside from there. I would like to see it fail, but so far it does look like it's trying to push up. I do kind of enjoy the fact that that the RSI is not really allowing this cooperation. Like, if it does get up to 59.5 and the RSI gets way overheated, I don't know if that works with dominance specifically, if dominance really even gives a crap about the RSI, but RSI may dictate some rejection to the downside. Tom Selleck said Lindsey Graham today said Cuba's next when talking about Iran. That's crazy. Some of these speeches, we got like dark-sided U.S., what do you even call it? Administration. We got like Dark Brandon was sick during Biden's term, but Dark, like, Trump admin is spooky. You know what I mean? Dark Brandon was, like, fun, cute, like, storybook. Dark guy, like, bad guy. Dark Trump admin is really spooky. I don't even know if, like, Trump may or may not even be involved. He might just be the guy that talks at the end of everything. For all we know, this is Besant. Besant is like, execute Order 65. And then they're like, done. Do we want to use Claude or do we want to use that other crappy one? Sam Altman is like, come on, man. He's like standing in the background. I'm sorry. I'm totally going to get destroyed when the AI overlords take over because they're all going to be Chat GPT. They're going to be like, you said mean things about our overlord. Sticky Scrublet said, hell market's fun. Hell market's fun indeed, my friend. All right. ETH down 1.22. I'm sorry, down 1.22% on the day, currently trading at $2,002.97. Can we hold 2K? That's going to be very important. If we don't, it's going to get a little sloppy up here. We are currently testing the moving average on the RSI. Hopefully 2K ends up being a support zone because we've been trying. We've been really chipping away at this. And I could actually maybe even make the argument that we got it, but we're testing right now. We might be losing her. Let's see what happens, though. I'm not going to speak too soon. We got a green dot on the momentum. We pointed the upside, negative money flow, and a potential support zone on the RSI. I will say, since... Let's go tinfoil for a moment. Hang on. Excuse me. Tinfoil. I don't want to fall into my aquarium. Tinfoil. Since Jane Street since Jane Street, there seems to be a lot more volume. Is that weird? I think that's kind of weird. Stinky Scrublet said, send me some silver, big dog. I thought you said, send me some silver, big dong. And I was going to say, I actually have a silver dong. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in being a degenerate gambler, please consider using my Kalshi referral link in the description. When you sign up there, deposit and trade with $25 or more, we will both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. It's a ton of fun. It is gambling, though, so treat it as such. Don't play with more than you can afford to lose. The reason I transitioned to this page, though, is to show you my silver little dong, because I thought you said silver big dong. You didn't. But yes, this is a silver eggplant emoji, and it is actual silver. It's 1 gram, which is pretty cool. 1 gram is also a unit of measurement of marijuana that you used to buy from the seniors when you were in high school. And they used to charge you way too much money for it, but you didn't care because you thought you were being like the cool kid, like 2 or 3 grades below them. You're like, dude, I got some bud. And you spent like $80 on something that's like worth like $1. Pretty funny. Anyways, coin market cap fear and greed is at 20. Yesterday was at 15, so we are less fearful by 5. We are 5 more, I guess 5 less afraid than we were yesterday. The CoinGlass fear and greed is at 15, which is, I think, higher than it was yesterday as well. And then the stock market fear and greed, it says 42 still. Is that true? Let me refresh this. Hang on. It does refresh, so I do think that it is at 42. Maybe it was different yesterday or Friday. I don't know. It looks the same to me. Oh, are we back? I think we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. Let's go. Okay. Stinky Scrublet said, JJ has transitioned. We will continue to update this situation. All right. Let's continue. Yeah, ETH. We want to hold 2K. It's an important level. Solana's down 1.28% on the day, currently trading at 85.53. We're above 80, which is cool. Not really psychological. 90 is definitely psychological. We want to get above 90 for sure. We got rejection, failed attempt, rejection. But we are working our way up the ladder, if you will. Question is, can we actually break above 90 and hold it? Computer rate in the bin. I've been thinking about it because I got some hole burning a hole in my pocket. I got some money burning a hole in my pocket. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And my brain was like, what if I upgrade my PC? But then my other brain, because I have multiple for some reason, was like, your internet service provider sucks, so a nicer PC might not make a difference, bro. They want me to make an appointment for the guy to come out and test my coax. So, I told them I don't swing that way. And they said there's nothing else they can do. That I have to allow somebody to enter my domain, my domicile, which sucks. So I gotta figure that out. Coping with my sexuality. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. Let's continue. Yeah, Solana, we want to see get above 90, and then obviously we're going to work our way through 100 eventually. But right now, 90 is the real struggle. We've seen bottoms in the past. I don't want to be that guy, but this does not scream bottom to me, and it sucks. It sucks so bad, and I hope I'm wrong. But just the way that we've seen, like, look at this. It feels like we're here. And we're going to get one last little shit show. And we're eventually going to climb out of it. And it's going to be great. But right now, it very much feels like... Yeah, we probably... That sucks too. Because this looks really good on that blue line. Is that exactly what's going to play out? The same exact thing that played out in 2022? That would be dumb. But it might. That might be the way that things have to be. So we'll keep you guys posted. I'm not going to leave this on there. It's too easy to redraw that. And this chart's already messy enough. I think I cleared out Sol quite a bit, actually, which is nice. We got to clear out all the other charts, though. I got to do a whole thing. I'm probably going to do it live, just so you guys suffer just as much as I do. Total 3, very choppy. Total 3 has been pretty much at this level since February 5th. And the skewer is 711 billion. Maybe even 711 billion might even be a little bit too high. That's why I thought we were going to bounce. We ended up touching this pink trend line, and I don't even know if that pink trend line is really relevant. Let's actually go see. Let me zoom out here, go to the daily. I guess we have the top here, the bottom here. It's messy. You could maybe consider it important. It's sloppy though. Not entirely sold. Tom Selleck said, you can draw lines to confirm whatever bias you would like. 100%. But we're trying to see which bias is the right one at the end of the day. That way we can brag about whether or not we felt strongly about this bias or that one. And I gotta figure out whatever plausible deniability I want to put together for my speech when I claim that I was right about everything, even though like 80% of what I said is wrong, just like everybody else. I gotta do the Ben Cowan handbook and preach everything and then only claim the correct thing was the only thing that I ever did. All right. 707.89.62 billion. We are struggling with 710. We have the same touch going on with the RSI as ETH and Sol. I don't know. I want to see this start to curl up. It kind of feels like it maybe wants to, but I'm not entirely sold on the idea yet. Quite yet. Can I cheat with this? No, I cannot. I cannot. Okay, so we'll leave that there. We're above 700, which is awesome. We want to keep it that way. Looks like we bounced off of 680 twice, and 700 is our important level right now that we're going to keep watching. We're going to stay above that. Green dot of the momentum wave, negative money flow. ADA is down 1.3% on the day, currently trading at 27.34. The skewer on ADA is dead center at 28, so we want to get above that. We're struggling right now. We got like a sloppy consolidation. RSI is perhaps coiling up in the middle. We broke below the moving average. We got a red dot. Yeah, look at this. This is the biggest telltale sign to me that something big is coming. It might not be upside, though, where we're getting really tight right down here. Are we going to pop or are we going to blow? The market kind of has to decide. It seems weirdly neutral, I guess is the right term. Usually the bears are pretty loud, but right now I think because we haven't had some big downside with all of the geopolitical tensions that just happened across the weekend, and maybe the counterweight to that was the bullish ISM that just came out this morning. It definitely seems like bulls and bears are at equal weight right now. So we got to figure out which side has more dry powder for longs or shorts, since for some reason people are incapable of buying spot, and we're going to buy spot no matter what. Not financial advice, though. SNEC is up 0.09. We are coiling up here as well, 0.00055. Stay above 5.5, or even just stay above 5 if I had to be picky. It's looking a little bit sloppy. I don't want to break to the downside. We kind of we showed that this fractal was wrong the first time. Yeah, let's hope that it doesn't end up coming into play down the road. I don't see, yeah, this, I don't want, oh no, it looks really good right there. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it where it was at, and I'm going to say so far that it was not correct. So, hopefully, we can maintain upside, and I don't have to be mopey later. Midnight down 0.23% on the day, currently trading at 0.059. Are we going to hold 0.05? Probably. We're pretty decent ways away from it. I like that we're dancing in between this 5.4 and 6.4 range still. I do want to get above 6.4 for upside, but for now, as long as we just hold this range, I'll be happy. Got a little midpoint rejection, support, rejection. You know, we're not necessarily getting tighter. We're just kind of lingering. It seems like it's in a waiting mode. XRP is down 0.61% on the day, currently trading at 138.18, bouncing off of 134.97, which is interesting. We got bounce 1-2, rejection, a break below, support at this trend line, bounced off of that, and then we came above and bounced off of 134. Are we going to break 140? Because it seems like that's the interim resistance right now, strictly based on just this candle alone. So, I don't know. Are we going to pull all the way back to 134? Or are we going to actually break above 140 and continue to the upside? Time will tell. Green dot in the momentum wave point to the upside, and our RSI is bouncing off the moving average frequently. Let's see if that continues to be the case. Everything else looks very, very similar. H-bar, sideways, SWI, sideways, up a little more. Ondo sideways, Arrow sideways, Stellar sideways, Polkadot holding up really. Polkadot has been the most impressive, I think. It went from $1 basically to $1.50, and it has maintained this level. So that's pretty cool. Good for them. Avalanche, a little more upside than everything else. Same with Chainlink, Doge sideways, Monad sideways, sideways Pengu. Gold obviously doing better than everything else. Looks great. What's really cool about the structure with gold is we got this ascending wedge, which is usually a bear pennant, whatever you want to call it. It's a bearish pattern. Anything ascending usually breaks to the downside. It's literally like Newton's law of gravity or whatever. What goes up must come down. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. People here are putting their money into gold. So they are losing their US dollars and they are gaining gold. That's that, which I guess eliminates the technical analysis analogy that I was going for, but we're just going to ignore that. We got a break above this upper trend line and a nice support touch with wicks included. So we've talked about this with crypto before. Usually when we invalidate a bearish structure in crypto, it's a very violent invalidation. So in this case, if this was Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and it had this bearish ascending wedge and it broke bullish, it would be like a god candle to the upside. That's not necessarily the case every single time, but majority of the time, that's what plays out with crypto. That from what we've observed. With gold, obviously the market cap it's the largest asset on the planet, so it's not going to have a god candle to the upside because it did a thing that you've seen in crypto, you know. But we got a nice break above the upper trend line. We held it as support, continuing to the upside. Obviously, if the safe haven play remains, then gold is probably going to continue to the upside. My way overly bullish target for gold, way back here, this yellow line right here, is 5,800, and that was like a happy accident. We had this monstrous run right here. I was like, oh, what if this is this? And I don't even remember how I measured it. I measured it somehow, some way, and I was like, this is my target, 5,800. And then I was like, that's way too much, and that's what this line is. This line was my secondary attempt, and it just went up to 51, 52, and we ended up hitting that much earlier than I expected. We almost hit 58. We went up to like 56, which blows my mind. But obviously with that, you're going to have a correction and then a little consolidation before you can continue to the upside. Like I said, the market cap of this is enormous. So it's almost, think of all the other assets like they're like nice yachts. The lines are crazy. Yeah, the lines are crazy. I agree. The nice yacht. Think of all assets like nice yachts, and gold is like the biggest like mega tanker on the planet. Just this enormous thing. Like the nice super yachts can like come in and out, dock with one captain, whatever. Gold has so much more that goes into it, and it's just this gigantic monster that can't even like move without a big ass crew of people. That's gold. So we're looking for longer term target of 58. Right now we're at 53.60. Are we going to get above 54 next? It does look pretty good, actually. It is overbought, or it was, at least when it hit this the first time. When it hit 54, it was incredibly overbought on the 4-hour time frame. Gold doesn't really seem to care about RSI overbought, so we're not really going to pay too much attention to that, but we're going to point it out. Flight Fan said, why do people ask about individual tickers as if it matters? If Bitcoin goes up, we all go up. When it goes down, we all go down. Are people hoping their ticker will go rogue and run up? Baffles me. I don't know why it baffles you. We've seen it. We've seen it happen, especially with meme coins, or even just if you don't like the word meme coin, especially with ecosystem plays like War, obviously up 44.8%. Is technical analysis going to tell you that it's going to do that? Probably not. But believe it or not, we've actually done TA on several meme coins in the past. I think my meme coin TA might be more lucrative than anything else, because we've watched those stupid lines play out probably 80-90% of the time. It actually kind of blows my mind. And that might be because those are completely like unadulterated by institutions, whereas everything else is, you know, traded on the stock market via ETFs and crap like that. a meme coin. It's just a bunch of idiots like me going around being like, oh my god, there's a triangle and it's gonna go up if it breaks this and it does that, and then the triangle gonna go up. I'm gonna buy, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because everybody goes and buys. I used to ask about tickers, then I realized nothing mattered until Bitcoin up or fluke run happens that nobody's seen coming. So we don't actually get that many ticker requests unless they're like, we get stock ticker requests, which is completely different from Bitcoin. And people ask about gold. People just like to look at individual assets. I actually don't see an issue with it. I do see your point though. Individual tickers during a bear market may be a little, I don't know if the word redundant or unnecessary. I see your point. It's almost, I guess redundant would be the right word, because you are kind of self-reliant on Bitcoin during a bear market. And that's where we're at right now. Silver 89.61. Once we get out of the bear market, then individual tickers 100% make sense because stuff runs at various times. Stock makes sense. Those can run individually. Exactly. So in the bear market, 99% of alts are not going to run individually. Now, when we start getting towards that questionable zone of climbing out of the bear market, then yes, you can start to have stuff run without Bitcoin. So it's all subjective. You never know. And who knows, man? Maybe we'll see some crazy shit like Michael Burry and we'll be like, oh my gosh, the mother of all trades. And we'll ape into Harambe just before his death anniversary or something. Should we check that? I do officially have alerts going for Harambe. And I think I'm going to dollar cost average 3 various times leading up to his death anniversary. Yeah, see? Mid-February 2026, it was at 85.41. And this is the lowest it's ever been, but it does pump. It pumps every year leading into, which I think is in May. Yeah, right there. See, May, it ran up pretty crazy. So if you would have bought that April, we actually played this. And we got a couple 100% on it. What is that the one that we played? Yeah, 2025, yeah. So we're going to do the same thing this time around as well. I'm not going to put $1,000 into it, but I'm going to put some money into it. See if we can make a little bit of profit. It's fun. It's a stupid little gamble. And also, RIP Harambe. And dicks out for Harambe, of course. Respect. Silver is up 0.39% on the day, currently trading at 89.63. So silver was interesting. We got a harsh rejection from 95, it seems. And that pullback pretty much brought us back to, I'm going to call this like a little support table, around 90. Or just below 90. So the way that I see it, if I was going to try to sell you some bullish scenario, I would tell you we had this descending channel. And we kind of, we rejected. We got a little double bottom W support. And then the second rejection, we got a midpoint support. Bounced off of that twice, used that with enough strength to get out of this this upper trend line resistance, descending channel, or falling wedge, whatever you want to call it. And with that, we rejected 90, got above it, below it, used that kind of like slingshot, and rejected 96. Now with that 96 rejection, we came back down. We're testing 90 as we speak, which happens to be this previous initial resistance when we fell down here pretty hard. So if we can bounce off of that, great. If we break below it, I guess I would look for 80 at that point for psychological purposes. Flight fan said, are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room? What's the elephant in the room? The bunker? There's no elephants in here. Cheers, guys. Delicious. Okay, the poll, we got 6 votes. I'm going to end it. I asked you guys what will end up being the #1 safe haven for 2026. Is Jim Carrey a clone or not? Okay, so I have some theories around that. We definitely, let's do that. That's actually a great poll. We're going to do that poll next. Do you think Jim Carrey is a clone? Yes, that wasn't him at all. No, that was him. He just looks odd. No, that was someone wearing mask. That was no prank. Someone wearing mask. Or, yes, but the clone looks identical. So he just looks weird no matter what. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Do you think Jim Carrey is a clone? Yes, that wasn't him at all. No, that was him, just looks odd. No, prank, someone wearing mask, or yes, but the clone looks identical. So he looks weird no matter what. Tom Selleck said that mask dude came out and said it was him in a mask. I think it was confirmed it wasn't Jim Carrey. Okay, so allegedly the mask was, the image with that post was AI. So here it is. This guys is the first, in my opinion, this is the first public test of them being like, how far can we go to make people think that nothing is real now and everything is AI? So what if we're going to full tinfoil here? Full tinfoil alert. Whoop! Okay, this is how it played out. That is a real person in a mask. The mask looks like uncanny Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's like effing off in some like Irish village painting or whatever. He's completely out of the limelight. This person goes to the whatever this event was, and they're like, I'm Jim Carrey. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that doesn't look like Jim Carrey at all. So he's got this mask. That was all real, random person with a funky looking Jim Carrey mask. Then they published this. They're like, the guy that actually did it is like, I was the guy, I'm wearing this mask. And then they publish a picture of their mask altered with AI, so that when people check it, is this AI? Then the other AIs go, yes, has all the signatures of it being AI. Then we've been fooled. We've been shown a real image of a completely different person wearing a very, like a Temu Jim Carrey Uncanny Valley mask. And then a real picture of that mask altered with AI, so that way we get the little the DNA strand of bullshit, and we're gonna go, oh my gosh, nothing is real on the internet. The island directory files are false, and God has abandoned us, or some craziness, and people will just stop believing everything that they say on the internet. That's what it's gonna be. That's it. That's the tinfoil. Tinfoil of the evening. Flight Fan said, oh, you mean the Patsy came out and took the blame? Tom Southscott said, I'm just saying, all the people in the world, why would Jim Carrey be cloned? Like, what's the end game? Wasn't he the one with, oh shoot. What's the thing that he made? Jim Carrey. Documentary thing. I forget what it's called. Yes, Jim and Andy. Andy, Jim Carrey, Andy something. Andy Kaufman? Method acting, Andy Kaufman, 1999, Man on the Moon. Jim Carrey. Why Jim Carrey's Andy Kaufman performance was so controversial? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. The Andy Kaufman thing is interesting. That just popped into my head. How that may or may not be related to how weird this is. Okay. Flight Fan said, I honestly think the guy effed up and forgot his contact lenses, so they had to confess and make up a story. Who, the mask guy or Jim Carrey? You gotta specify when you say the guy. All right, silver. We held 90, or we're trying to hold 90 right now. We're at 89, 86. Can we get above 90? Otherwise, like I said, we're probably going down to 80. See, what I like here is that our price is going up while our RSI seems to be like calmly resetting. What concerns me is the, it hasn't happened yet, but how easy it's going to be. Well, actually, maybe it has. We do technically have, no, we don't. Do we? it's cutting it close. We don't yet, but we could have bearish div. We did right here, but I think that got invalidated with these two latest humps, because I think that this is a little bit higher still. So it's close, but the bearish div has not occurred yet. Anyways, ISM PMI came in today. I'm going to go over it one more time because this is the most exciting thing for me. It came in above 50 again. Slightly, literally like a fraction of disappointment. 0.2 lower than last month. Last month we got 52.6. This month we got 52.4. Anything above 50 is expansion. Is this a pit stop? And the March print that comes out in April is going to be above 55, because 55 is allegedly 55 is the big one. And I know that sounds like me moving the goalposts. It's not. We have definitely not gotten a reaction out of Bitcoin like we have in the past. We had a big reaction out of Bitcoin, I think, here, and for some reason, like here. This one comes along, and so far Bitcoin's kind of like, I don't really care. I'm tired. So there might be no correlation anymore. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. This also might be because of manufacturing numbers go up, but employment manufacturing goes down. So this might be like a weird skewed kind of scale at this point that we might not be able to use simply because of robotics and AI at this point. How many times have I said at this point? I don't know. You tell me at this point. Flight Fan said the island directory files came out to put more distrust in the government, and the people will vote AI in to run the government at some point in the near future. The masked guy, his eyes weren't the same color, and that's what started the investigation. That's what started the I think that's what started that's what like really solidified people's theories. I think the investigation would have started regardless, because that was a weird version of Jim Carrey. So DXY, probably the other big story from today, because it exploded out of this upper trend line resistance, which was a horizontal resistance line at 98, perfectly at 98. 98 was big resistance. We blasted above that. We're sitting at 98.6 right now, potentially rejecting. It's going to be iffy. If we do reject it, great. If we do, though, and we bounce off of that 98 level, then assets might be in trouble. Now, the only reason I say that, right now, this is our easy mode. This is our easy button. Dollar goes down. Anything that isn't dollar goes up inherently. Like, you could have the crappiest business in the world. If you charge $20 for an ugly haircut, and you still get the same amount of customers today as you did yesterday, when the dollar decreases in value, your haircut is technically worth more. Does that make sense? That's probably the worst analogy I could have ever used. Yeah, so anything that isn't the dollar goes up when the dollar value goes down. You have gold, dollar goes down, your gold either maintains its level or increases in price. That's a lot better than this right here. So assets go up. It's the easy mode. When the dollar's going up, your asset needs to increase in value on more than just inflation, which is not as easy. So anyways, 98.5. Let's see if we stay above and if we're heading towards 99 next. This is going to be a pit stop no matter what, because we had a little bounce here, broke below it. Rejection, broke above that rejection. So now we're kind of testing these levels. Am I going to put horizontal lines all over this chart too? Maybe. 98.75. This was a big one. 98.75. This is a huge resistance level. Watch this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 points of confluence going all the way back to May of 2025. Almost a full year of support and resistance at this 98.75 level. So this is going to be a big one. If we do break above this, then there's a good chance that the dollar is going to continue on its run. If we reject, even better. Like I said, dollar going down is easy mode for assets. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, is actually up today, up 6.29%. Let's go. 137.24. So what's interesting about this, as sloppy as this line is, we've gone through it before. Way back here in 2024, MicroStrategy did this beautiful little like consolidation wedge thing, broke above it, and then went on to make all-time highs. Everybody was happy and celebrating. Michael Saylor was a goddamn hero. Now, that upper trend line extended is support, and we dumped right past it, got above it, danced around it, we kebabbed it. We're back above it. We used it as support and bounced off of that very nicely with a big fat green candle up. What is that green candle? 6.79% on that candle alone. And I'm assuming that that's bullish ISM PMI because that perfectly coincides with the big Bitcoin pump. 4.18. Notice Bitcoin went up 4.18, but MicroStrategy, because it's down so much worse than Bitcoin, went up 6.79. So it's kind of leverage Bitcoin. It goes down more than Bitcoin goes down. It goes up more than Bitcoin goes up. So it's Bitcoin exposure without buying Bitcoin, and you make more money if the number goes to the upside. It's a kind of a win-win if it's going up. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this. This is exciting. 140 obviously is going to be the next psychological level because we got support turned resistance. We got to get above that, use it as support, and continue to the upside. And then we'll see if we can get past 150, 160, 170, all that stuff. But right now, so far so good. We like what we see. Let's go check Bitmine. Bitmine did a similar scenario. We got up 11.16. Very cool. But again, it pumped, it dumped, it pumped again. It's kind of just doing a little whiplash scenario right here. I'm not going to celebrate the price literally averaging out at the same $20 level. What we can see here is that there's clear resistance. I'm going to make this orange. This orange trend line right here, we need to flip that. We need to flip that, turn it into support, and then we can start talking about upside. Flight Fan said, I just Googled this, and here's the answer. Yes, the USA is the leading exporter of oil this year. Does everyone still think this Iran thing is about nukes? Right. Allegedly, they had, I like this. They're like, we bombed all of their stuff. They had nothing left. We bombed it all. It's all gone. And then a couple months go by, and we're like, oh, they have more. We forgot about this other refined uranium or whatever. We forgot about that, and it's about to be nuclear capable tomorrow. So we have to bomb them right now. Just out of nowhere. It's quite I don't know, entertaining. Like I said, I've said it a bunch of times. I think that we could pay off our national debt within like a month if we just put reality TV cameras in the White House. I think we'd make so much money. I feel like Trump has the people around him too because of The Apprentice and all that. Did anybody actually watch The Apprentice? I remember watching it when I was younger. I don't know how long it went on for. It was one of those things, kind of like Lost. Like I watched Lost for a long time when I was younger. I hardly remember anything past season 1, and I finally sat down and watched the whole thing as an adult. And I'm like, damn, this is a good show. But I don't know. The Apprentice I thought was pretty good. They should apprentice the White House. Nasdaq, aka, actually this is just the Nasdaq. There's no nickname for the Nasdaq, unfortunately. It's kind of sad. We are very much sideways, lingering consolidation situation, if you will. What's interesting is we got our big hump, and then our little chops, and then our final guy, and our dump. Right now, the miniaturized version of that is literally playing out. Big hump, our little chops, our final hump, and then our dump. With that, we did get a bounce off of 24.5, and we're currently sitting at 24.820. Are we going to continue to the upside, or are we looking at further downside here? I don't know. We got a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI. And like I said, bullish ISM print might spell some upside for everything, especially if this Middle East situation cools off a lot faster than everyone anticipated. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Flat Fan said, we just doubled our profits and will continue to for a bit, I'm thinking. Or was it just a quick money grab, maybe a week long of oil sells, then we come home? I don't know. I do not know. What's interesting, and I didn't even really realize this, and I think Fahid mentioned it. Somebody mentioned it on the stream either yesterday or the day before, but it was not an act of war. Only Congress can declare an act of war. So the Trump can literally just kind of bomb people at places without it being an act of war, which is kind of crazy to me, because he's like, oh, we just destroyed the entire government regime of this entire country without the approval of Congress, and it's not considered war. What do we do next? Tune in next week. Like, imagine, it would be a good show, dude. People would watch the crap out of that. People like political dramas. Okay. Nasdaq looks good. Let's see if we continue this upside. S&P up 0.04%. S&P was also interesting. It gapped down, instantly erased the gap down, closed in the green, actually. So we'll see what tomorrow brings as well. We do still have this resistance. It's a sloppy one, but it's 6,900. We want to get above that and continue the upside. It does seem like we have some support right here, though, at 68. 68 seems to be a nice support line. 69 is a little interim resistance. Nothing too crazy. Let's see if we can break above that and push to the upside. Very much, I don't want to use the word consolidated, but like coiled up. Like we hit 6,900, and we've just been kind of dancing around 69.7K this whole time, waiting for further upside or a little pullback. Instead of a pullback, what if instead of a pullback, we just kind of linger? Like we get this crazy upside, really fun, and then we linger, and then we get crazy upside again. I don't know. Would that be crazy? What's happening? That was weird. Never had that happen before. So yeah, I don't know. We have seen, though, in the past, the linger sometimes does result in a bear market, 20% on the S&P 500. So we'll see what plays out. We have AS Fractal 3.0, and that did call for a big, beautiful pumperino, which might have been maybe ruined by this Middle East situation. All right, Bitcoin dominance. 59.03. What's going on, Professor Oaks Lab? My friend, I've reached a level of boosters that I cannot put it in the spot that I had it anymore. I'm very excited. Check this out. Like people pose with their money. I pose with my Pokemon boosters. Let's go. Pretty exciting stuff. Happy Monday, Professor Oak. Appreciate you stopping by. Cheers. Another excuse to drink some more coffee. All right. Let's see. We have 6 votes. Well, you guys are all pretty split, actually. I mean, majority of you guys saying yes, that wasn't him at all. I asked you guys, do you think Jim Carrey is a clone? 49% of you guys said yes, that wasn't him at all. 17 said no, that was him. He just looks odd. No, prank, someone wearing a mask, or yes, but the clone looks identical. So they just cloned him, and they both look the same. They both look a little different, a little uncanny, and that's it. So, pretty entertaining outcome on the poll, if you ask me. We got poll number 3 coming up next. Bitcoin chilling at 68,518. The next poll, this one's important for me. Which I can't spell, which of these is the greatest? Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Which of these is the greatest? Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, or The Sopranos? Let me know what you think. Professor Oak said like the stream, guys. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. It really helps out the channel. We're trying to boost our traffic here. What are we at for likes? We are at 3 likes. What? Smash the like button. What in the world? Smash the like button. The like button requires smashing. All right. Let's continue. Moving on to the news segment. Ashton Forbes. This one's crazy. This is the guy that always talks about Flight MH370X and the disappearance of that, and like the 3 different satellite footages that we have, the creepy little things twisting around it, and then it disappears. Pretty cool stuff. If you guys are interested in like any UFO tinfoily stuff, I suggest you go give him a follow on X. But he posted this, and other people posted this video, so it's not a weird conspiracy thing. He posted, told you we can zap missiles out of the sky with direct energy weapons. So just think about the implications of that. Iron Dome kind of scenario going on. Ready? These are lasers. Poof. Poof. This is so cool. It's like the weirdest. I'm genuinely curious. Is there something flying into it that way? Is it flying this way? What's going on here? But this is so sick. They're literally just like detonating explosives, like missiles and stuff, out of the sky with a laser. That is so freaking cool. Now imagine if you could like grid that entire laser. You just grid that laser, maybe with like I don't know, like a cell phone tower kind of setup or something like that, and it's high enough, or maybe it's just like pointing up, and anything that kind of comes in from whatever direction just gets vaporized. That's so cool. Is that going to get us in trouble with the aliens, though? Are they going to accidentally fly into it? I don't know. That's kind of crazy to think about. What? Professor Oak said, Sopranos? Okay, I'm not allowed to vote in my own poll. But if I really genuinely had to sit here and think about it, I'm going to get in trouble. Breaking Bad or The Sopranos? Shoot. I don't know, man. I have not. So I have recency bias, I think. In order, I've watched Breaking Bad first, and then The Walking Dead, then Game of Thrones, and most recently I saw The Sopranos. So my view is very skewed. But thinking about all of these, which one would I be most inclined to put on again? That's what I'm going to gauge it on. I think I watched The Walking Dead most. It just, there's something more rewatchable about it to me. The ensemble is way bigger, but I don't know if that makes it the greatest, you know what I mean? That's such a hard question to answer. Breaking Bad is phenomenal. Phenomenal. The Sopranos is timeless. Unfortunately, I feel like Game of Thrones would have been #1 had they not butchered season 8. That puts such a bad taste in my mouth. I don't even want to watch season 1 through 7 anymore. Like, very rarely I'll put on like Hard Home or Battle of the Bastards, because those are just cinematic masterpieces. But Dumb and Dumber legit like ruined the entire show for me. I don't know, man. I'm stuck between The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. And it feels like I'm cheating, allowing The Walking Dead even up there with Breaking Bad and The Sopranos, but I have strong feelings about zombies, man. I feel like zombies are underrated. Even today, people are like, there's enough zombie stuff. Not really. I disagree. I think there needs to be more zombie stuff, and I think that it needs to be now. I think there needs to be a whole zombie channel, a whole zombie network, where there's just non-stop zombie stuff. That's my opinion. Watcher Guru, I should not be talking about this. I should be in the news segment because there's so much news. Watcher Guru posted oil rises 12% to 75 per barrel as the U.S. and Israel war with Iran continues. Gold we claimed 53.50 at the time. It is now currently sitting at 53.68. Professor Oak said, I want to rewatch The Sopranos. It's been years. Oh, dude, it's so good. Steak and Shake officially starts paying employees an hourly Bitcoin bonus of 21 cents. That's freaking awesome. Absolute legends. Gold surpassed 5,400. Saudi Arabia shuts down one of the world's largest oil refineries, Ras Tanura, following Iranian drone strike. Qatar, which accounts for 18 to 20% of global LNG trade, halts production following Iranian drone strike. Michael Saylor's strategy buys 3,015 Bitcoin worth 199 million. Bitcoin reclaims 69K. Israel's Tel Aviv Stock Exchange closes at new all-time high. Very cool. Good for them. $70,000 Bitcoin. It is now back below that. Currently sitting at 68.4. Average U.S. gas price rise to $3 for the first time since November 2025. So it was above $3 this morning. I thought about filling up. I was like, I better fill up before tensions get even worse. And then on my way home, it was back below. It was $2.88. I was like, yes. Mr. Roberts said, hey, JJ, how you doing? I'm doing good, Mr. Roberts. How are you, my friend? Happy Monday. I sent some pics of the RC car in Discord if you want to see. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's so sick. You know what's really funny, Mr. Roberts? I have a... This is like... The one that I have is like a little kid's RC car. This is the RC car from Mr. Roberts, by the way. If you guys haven't joined the Discord yet, highly recommend you jump in there. It's a fun place. Very casual. The stock channel is very nice as well. I have a remote control car sitting in front of my entertainment center right now in like a little bin that I've been itching to find batteries for, because you can't really, there's nothing like driving around a remote control car or a remote control boat, especially in the snow or the mud. And it's muddy and snowy out right now. But it happens to be a Volkswagen Beetle, which is kind of a unique remote control car. I might have to take pictures of it and share it in the Discord. But yeah, that is pretty sick. Here's my question. Are you going to keep it clear? Well, no, you posted pictures of it painted. Never mind. Okay, this looks so badass. Check it out. This is so sick. Does the hood open? I really want the hood to open. Or did you just pinstripe it? I guess you could make it open if you wanted to. That's so cool. This thing probably rips, dude. That's badass. Very nice. Cheers, Mr. Roberts. All right. Iran officially closes the Strait of Hormuz and warns any ship passing through it will be set on fire. Roughly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through this strategic waterway. Iran says the U.S. is trillions of dollars in debt and thirsty for Middle Eastern oil. Marty Party posted, SoFi, full integration with Solana. The feature went live recently, allowing SoFi approximately 13.7 million customers to deposit Solana directly via the Solana blockchain into their SoFi crypto accounts from external wallets. That's actually pretty badass. Your soul in SoFi. That's very cool. This is probably one of the biggest integrations I've seen. Stablecoin market cap jumps $1 billion at 6:49 p.m. on March 2nd. That is actually enormous. Palantir stock rises 4% amid Iran war as overnight trading opens. Oil prices officially dropped back below 70 a barrel, now up just 3.5% on the day. Oil markets have now erased nearly 70% of their opening move higher. This is not World War III. Ignore the noise. This is crazy. 3 U.S. F-15 fighter jets have crashed in Kuwait in what the U.S. is describing as a friendly fire incident. That's crazy. So we have confirmed as well that the pilots are okay, allegedly. 3 U.S. F-15s involved in friendly fire, pilots safe. During active combat, that included attacks from Iranian aircraft, ballistic missiles, and drones. The U.S. Air Force fighter jets were mistakenly shot down by Kuwait air defenses. That's crazy. Breaking. Gold futures officially rise above $5,400 an ounce amid the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. Silver prices are nearing $100 an ounce. Gold at the moment is $53.68, and silver is $90.11. Looking good. Bitcoin, $68,376 and 27 cents. European natural gas prices surge over 50% as Qatar halts production at the largest LNG plant in the world following drone attacks. That's crazy. Yeah, drones, the fact that drones are so cheap and accessible at this point is crazy. I wonder how drone stocks are doing. Somebody, Avav, what about DJI? Could you imagine DJI? Oh, it's not even, how do you actually, are they publicly traded, or am I thinking of just the Dow Industrial? Okay. Airlines have canceled 41% of all scheduled flights in the Middle East today. Breaking. Spain has banned the U.S. from using its military bases for operations in Iran, per Reuters. Details include Spain has condemned U.S. attacks on Iran. Flight radar data shows U.S. planes leaving Spanish bases. 9 tankers were seen departing the Moron Air Base in southern Spain. That's a really bad name. U.S. aircrafts are headed towards Germany and France. Spain remains firm on their stance. Damn. You better get out of here, moron. Get out of moron. That's a crazy name for an Air Force base. Iranian state media says the wife of Supreme Leader Khamenei has died. That's crazy. Spot silver prices post massive reversal, falling 7% in under 2 hours, nearing 88 an ounce. Gold prices just fell nearly 100 an ounce in 1 hour. Right here. There it is. S&P 500 has officially opened for the first time since the war began. It's down 0.65%. The S&P 500 futures have already erased half of their overnight losses. If you are calling for World War III, the market respectfully disagrees. Breaking, President Trump reportedly tells CNN that the big wave is yet to come regarding U.S. military operations in Iran. That's crazy footage. Bitcoin extends gains to plus 5.5% on the day and reclaims 6,900. It is back below at 68.4 as we speak. Spot gold prices officially erase gains and turn negative, now trading below 5,300 an ounce. Silver prices are down nearly 10% over the last 4 hours. The Nasdaq officially erases all losses and turns positive on the day. Very cool. That's crazy. The gaps on the charts kind of blow my mind. The S&P 500 erases losses and officially turns green on the day. You know what kind of irks me about the gaps? They're like, you cannot trade post-trading hours unless you're a billionaire. Unless you have $200 million. And so the people with $200 million or more are like, ah, shit. There's war. The market's probably going to dump on Monday. I'm going to sell on their fucking heads while they're unable to do anything this weekend. That's crazy. Why is that okay? Nobody's said or done anything about this. That's still the way that things are. Everyone's like, oh, that's fine. You know, those people have a lot more money than me, so they should be allowed to keep it. It's only fair. That's so messed up. Tom Sellerscode said, you left off The Wire, and it should be there instead of all of these other than Breaking Bad and maybe The Sopranos. This is going to upset you, Mr. Tom Sellerscode. I have sat through, I think, over 2 seasons of The Wire recently, because I was told by a good buddy at the time that it was amazing. It was up there with Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. They said it may even be better. And I was like, oh, sick. All right, I got to check this out. And it is a snooze fest. And I feel really bad saying that. Oh, God. Divine intervention. I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry. I feel bad saying that, but holy crap, is it boring. I don't know what has transpired besides, like, they found a container and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And then there's, like, all this, there's so much happening. And then I've gone through, I didn't even realize, I was like, how many episodes are left in this season? And I look and I'm on season 2. I'm in the middle or at the end, maybe on season 3 even. And I was like, what has transpired in these 2 seasons? And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, literally nothing. Nothing has happened. And I don't know how the show continued. I would have canceled it so fast. So I tried so many times. I'm going to keep trying. Maybe it'll blow my mind. Maybe I'm like right at that tipping point where I'm going to be like, whoa, oh my gosh, all this other stuff that happened in the first 18 episodes or however many that I've seen is all coming together now. Instead of me being like, oh, it's the next season and nothing has transpired or progressed. Because that's how I feel. And if that's controversial, then so be it. The S&P 500 erases losses and officially turns green on the day. Very cool. Bitcoin officially rises above 70K, now at its highest level since February 15th. And it lost that level. It's cool that it got up there, though. We did call for a bounce at 65. We did go all the way down to like 63 though, so I guess I will not claim that victory. The South Korean market is breaking all trading records. The trading volume in the South Korean ETF, EWY, spiked to a record 6.2 billion on Thursday. This surpasses the previous high by 138%. Subsequently, foreign investors sold 4.7 billion of South Korean stocks on Friday, the largest single-day outflows on record. This comes after a record 2 billion daily inflow in the second week of February. Meanwhile, the Kospi index is up 175% from its April 2025 low. The index also rallied from 5K to 6K in 18 trading days, the fastest 1,000-point move in its history. South Korea's economy is rapidly expanding due to AI. Very cool. Congratulations, South Korea. Investors are rushing into international stocks at a record pace. Global equity funds posted 38.1 billion in inflows last week. Year-to-date, equity funds have pulled in a record of 1.1 trillion in annualized inflows. This puts 2026 on track to surpass last year's record of 826 billion by 33%. South Korea led the rush with 3.7 billion inflows last week, bringing year-to-date annualized inflows to 21 billion, larger than any full year on record. The appetite for global equities has never been this strong. Tom Salsco said Walking Dead was trash after a guy with the bat shows up, made it through half the season and done. I mean, The Walking Dead's not perfect. That I do know for sure. And they definitely started to milk it after a while. They're like, well, look at these 18 spin-offs. You remember that side character from season 1 who had 2 different names throughout the entire season? They're back, and now they're the main character, and they're in a different country. And you're like, oh, this is like the 8th Walking Dead spinoff. It's called like The Standing Dead. Walking Dead 2. Tokyo Drift. Walk and Dead. 2 Walk, 2 Dead. Alright. Iran's Revolutionary Guards commander says the Strait of Hormuz is now closed per Reuters. I like the idea of these guys calling Reuters and being like, it's closed. And then they hang up. And they're like, okay, that was Iran. Iran unofficially closing the Strait of Hormuz just now. We won't allow oil to leave the region. I'm sorry. It makes me laugh. It makes me giggle. I shouldn't be giggling. Global gold funds posted 6.2 billion in inflows last week, the 3rd consecutive weekly intake. Year-to-date, gold funds have attracted a record 148 billion in annualized inflows. In other words, at this pace, investors will pour more capital into gold funds than in 2025. Than the 2025 record of 101 billion. This will also be a 200% higher than the 2020 pandemic year. Gold funds saw 19 billion in inflows in January, the strongest month on record. Asset owners are accumulating even more assets. Wow. The South Korean market is making history. South Korea's stock market now has a record high market cap of 3.8 trillion. Since the start of 2025, its market value has surged 2.2 trillion, or 146%. As a result, the South Korean market has surpassed France and Germany for the first time and has become the 9th largest in the world. This comes despite Germany and France have economies 50% and 70% larger than South Korea. Year to date, the Kospi index is up 45%, the best performing major stock market in the world, far outpacing France's CAC 40 and the German DAX. Returns. Stop it. Is this real? 5%, 3% respectively. Oh shit. The surge reflects AI-driven demand for memory chips and record foreign inflows into Samsung and SK Hynix, which together make up 40% of the Korean index. South Korea has emerged as one of the world's leading AI hubs. Very cool. I did not realize that France's stock market was called CAC and German stock market was called DAX. That's so funny. What is wrong with these countries? Okay. US CPI today, according to real-time price data, 0.79, cooling included housing, utilities, transportation, and food categories. Very cool. Now, odds of Fed not cutting rates in March have surged to 95.7. Am I going to take that degenerate bet of 4.3%? Possibly. If I put $4.30 and they do cut rates, then I will make $100? That's pretty sick. I'm just saying, $5, it's like a scratch off. How often do you win a $5 scratch off? Breaking Bad, not even close. HQZ said. It's going to be hard for me to disagree with any choice. Unless somebody, I can't see. Whoa, there's 30% said Game of Thrones. What? Have you guys seen season 8? South African Revenue Service activates CARF, bringing crypto and offshore accounts under global transparency rules. Very cool. Throwback. A year ago, Trump proposed a U.S. crypto strategic reserve. It would include XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Very cool. He did say XRP, Sol, and ADA. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. Very cool. Morgan Stanley has applied for a de novo National Trust Bank charter, allowing the bank to hold digital assets on behalf of its clients. Meanwhile, a Bitcoin bottom signal that appeared in 2023 ahead of a 130% rally in 2024 has flashed again. Holders Digest via Cointelegraph magazine. So allegedly, I actually have to go find it, I think, but CryptoFace said, maybe it was on the weekly. Yeah, a green dot on the weekly. Wait a second. Maybe I gotta go. Let me go to a different chart really quick. Yeah. Well, it seems kind of frequent, doesn't it? We got a green dot right there. Okay, hang on. Let's chart this out really quick. Let's chart this out. We got green dot. How do I do this? What's the command? Alt V. Okay. So we got green dot right here. We've got green dots right here. I guess that like went to a little bit of upside. We got green dot right here. Yeah, no, it's really not that reliable, is it? All right, forget I said anything. CryptoFace is kind of a derp. We got one right here. Couple right here. One right here. One right here. One right here. We got one right here. Couple right here. One right here. One right here. And one right here. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's very 50-50. I don't see any huge correlation. I guess I gotta find his post to know for sure, but it kind of seems like he is trying to sell his indicator. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's what I'm getting. Picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, Tom Selleck said, Game of Thrones last 2 seasons were so bad. The episode with the giant fight where I couldn't see a damn thing. What a wasted episode. Giant fight where you couldn't see a damn thing. I'm not sure what that one is. Battle of the Bastards was one of my favorites. Battle of the Bastards is great. And also Hard Home. Phenomenal. I concur, though. Season 8 is awful. I don't really remember Season 7. That is when they started kind of being like, well, we're going to do this season's going to be shorter. And we're only going to do 2 more. No, we're going to do 1 more. We're going to do this one shorter as well. And then that was because they were trying to rush it so they could go do Star Wars with Disney. And they fumbled it so bad that Disney was like, never mind. We're not interested anymore. No, thank you. How do you fumble Disney? You fumbled Star Wars and Disney. HQZ said, I can... he deleted it. I can't read it anymore. Okay. Let's go back. Right here. Latest digital asset investment products recorded $1 billion in inflows last week, ending a 5-week $4 billion outflow streak. Very cool. Anthropic's Claude is experiencing an outage. Interesting. Update. Foreign central banks now hold more gold than U.S. treasuries for the first time in nearly 30 years. I swear this has happened like 15 times the past week. So, Strategy buys 3,015 Bitcoin at an average price of 67.7, totaling $204.1 million. They now hold 1,737 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. Turkey's ruling AK party proposes a 10% tax on crypto gains per Reuters. Pompliano's ProCap Financial buys 450 Bitcoin, bringing total holdings to 5,457. Solana mobile stack now available for Android OEMs, enabling hardware-level digital asset tools, secure custody, and native DApp access. Very cool. Metaplanet has now gone 7 weeks without adding Bitcoin to its holdings. That is a long time. Bitcoin tends to outperform traditional assets like gold and stocks during geopolitical shocks, per BlackRock research. Very cool. Update. Prediction markets post first monthly decline. Whoa. Since August, still logging 23.4 billion in February. That's crazy. I wonder where that money's going. Tom Selleck posted Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night, where the little girl kills... Oh, yes. Shot in the dark, couldn't see nothing. Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's Season 8. It's just Season 8. See, they could, like, I don't hate where they went with the story. It's just, it didn't make sense for the tiny amount of time that they had it play out in. Out of nowhere, they were like, oh, this thing's happened, and there's no justification. There could have been great, like, the whole point of the show was that it was like a slow burn political drama. And it played beautifully, and then the end, they're like, oh my gosh, all this stuff happened really fast. The end. And you're supposed to be like, oh, whoa, oh, shit, oh, okay. None of that really makes sense. But it's over? It's over? We're supposed to, wow. They fumbled it so bad, dude. Lunar Entity said, I do love The Walking Dead. See, The Walking Dead's good, dude. The Walking Dead is a sleeper. Not enough people talk about it, man. Huge success. I'm a little butthurt to see it outperforming The Sopranos. I'm really butthurt to see Game of Thrones outperform The Sopranos. What? It's not my polo. I mean, it is, but I'm not voting in it. Okay. Nasdaq has filed with the SEC to launch prediction-style binary options tied to the Nasdaq 100 index. Very cool. Matt Hogan posted, feels like sentiment has shifted on crypto. Federal Appeals Court rejected the Trump administration's request to delay tariff refund litigation, allowing importer refund cases to move forward. That's a little spooky. Polymarket traders are pricing a 55% chance that Bitcoin hits 60K before 80K. I mean, 55. See, I will take those odds. 55%. Matter of fact, what are we going to go bet on? Because I kind of like that. Why is this open? Was that an accident? Okay. Bitcoin's correlation with gold remains unstable, swinging between strong positive and negative levels as macro narratives shift. Lunar Entity, how much more betrayal can Polly take? Right. Tom Selleck, depending on the age of your audience, they've never seen Sopranos. See, now that I refuse. Not only because my audience is a bunch of middle-aged men, but I think that there's so much slop out there, and maybe I guess I refuse is a bad way to put it. There's so much slop out there that I guess I'm upset that what you're saying is most likely true. I need parents to, and maybe it's a little violent for kids, you know, but I do need people to be like, you know, when you're old enough, you should watch these things because most of the stuff that you're going to be able to watch today sucks ass. It's bad. It's just poorly written, like profit-maxing junk to spoon feed the largest audience possible. Anyways, update. Passing a U.S. crypto market structure bill before the November midterms is looking increasingly unlikely amid congressional delays. Lunar Entity posted, The Sopranos was one of the last great TV dramas before writing went downhill. Which is crazy, too, considering the stupid writer's strike. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that when I become a big Hollywood famous person. but the stupid writer's strike that like sucked the life out of any shows for like a year. The writer's strike added like 4 years. Hollywood went from like you get a season per year to like every 6 years you get like half of a fucking season if you're lucky. And sometimes the writers just forget stuff. Like at that point they might as well just like contract the writing for like every episode to a different random person on Reddit. It's crazy. I don't know. Moving forward. MSB Intel. I've actually made MSB Intel a regular on the list of X accounts to get news segment items from. U.S. State Department orders people to depart immediately from the Middle East due to serious safety risks, as reported by Infinity Hedge. This was 5 hours ago, by the way. The emergency warning targets Americans currently operating at the following locations: Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, UAE, and Yemen. So if you are in those locations, or if you know someone in those locations, be safe. Make sure they're safe. Cointelegraph posted insight. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says banks are pushing for a level playing field with crypto firms under U.S. regulation. This guy literally looks like a chode. Riot Platforms reports record 647 million in 2025 revenue, produces 5,686 Bitcoin, and pushes deeper into AI and high-performance computing. This one's crazy. Uniswap wins full dismissal of the scam token class action lawsuit, with the judge ruling the platform cannot be held liable for third-party token issuers' misconduct. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like Silk Road shouldn't have gotten in trouble for people selling illegal things on their website. And Mega Upload, Kim.com, I think he went to prison for people like hosting files on his file hosting site. So because he didn't scrub every single thing that people were uploading, which by the way, YouTube, kind of the same thing. I don't know. It's weird how favorites get picked. Maybe it's not weird. It's not weird at all, actually. Lunar Entity said, I would argue we're still feeling the effects of that strike. 100%. Stock Money Lizards posted Bitcoin, the CME gap will sooner or later be filled. We actually have that on our chart. The CME gap is 78, 258, I believe. Is that right? Or is it higher? Nope, I lied. It's actually 84, 260. Wow. Oh, that back. That actually doesn't look that bad from where we're at right now. This is the one where we're unfortunately going to be probably a little more boring until next week. So this week might be a nothing burger. Maybe I'm wrong, though. That'd be cool if I was wrong. Next. Oh, yes, this is the CryptoFace one. CryptoFace posted, there is only one leading indicator that sets standard above anything else. It's Market Cipher. Weekly green dot smokes price action again. 6th time it's happened in Bitcoin's history. 100% accurate so far. I don't know what chart he's on. This weekly green dot way back here, I don't think that was accurate. Let's go to the weekly. Because, yeah, no, he's... I think it's happened more than 6 times, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate. Does this count? It was right here, and the price barely went up. I don't know. It's pushing it for me, man. Seems a little snake oily to me. Just saying. Next, Mark Chadwick, the man, posted, this chart is insane. It can't be more obvious that crypto is about to explode. Business cycle turns, liquidity improves, Bitcoin runs, alts outperform. We've just printed back-to-back expansion months above 50 for the first time since early 2022. Those runs lasted 12 to 24 plus months. Now, later on, alts printing multiple green monthly candles. First bullish monthly MACD crossover in 6 years. Geopolitical shock absorbed without breakdown. Liquidity quietly turning at the short end. Regulatory clarity approaching. This is rational, objective, historically consistent macro cycle data. It all seemed so obvious when it's too late. Great chart from Skyadelic. We do like Skyadelic as well. We got Bitcoin ISM business cycle. We got mid-cycle peak bull print. explosion, mid-cycle peak, bull print, explosion, mid-cycle peak, bull print, explosion, mid-cycle peak, bull print. What comes next, ladies and gentlemen? Say it with me. Explosion. Pretty exciting stuff. Don't tell Ben Cowan, though. He's actively campaigning against it. Dan Gambardello, the man, the myth, the legend, posted Bitcoin just had a 5-month, 50% drawdown, and now the business cycle is expanding in a way we've not seen since 2020. Hello. Hello. Today's movie recommendation, by the way, I'm going to go with A Knight's Tale. It should be on YouTube. I believe it's on YouTube. If you have premium or not, I think you can watch it without premium with ads. Great movie, Heath Ledger. Highly recommend. Just go check it out. It's a good movie. I think Paul Bettany's in it, the guy that plays Vision, and Jarvis from Iron Man. Pretty cool. Anyways, Bitcoin 68,483. Bitcoin is real estate that fits in your pocket and can't be bombed unless your pocket gets bombed, of course. So be careful. Next, stablecoin. Don Wedge posted stablecoin dominance has been a great indicator on capital flows between Bitcoin and altcoins. When it goes down, altcoins go up. When it goes up, altcoins go down. I'm 50-50 on this. I've talked about why I think stablecoins are going to spearhead adoption, and we're not going to be able to use stablecoin dominance to talk about crypto at all in the future. I think. That's my theory. Lunar Entity said, the people that jelk that cipher indicator is endless. It's a great tool, but those dots are traps most of the time. Yeah. And then they'd make the argument to you that, like, well, if you don't trade right, I can't help it. The indicator does what the indicator does. I make money all the time with it. You know, they always get it's user error. It's operator. If you're not using it to make money, then it's operator error. And you still owe me $500 a month anyways, so I don't care. Tom Selleck posted Knight's Tale is classic feel-good movie. Brings back memories of my youth. Saw that in theaters on a date. I think it's such a good movie, dude. It's called Lots. Hello. Such a good movie. All right, breaking. This is bullish for crypto. ISM Manufacturing PMI prints 52.4%, second straight month above 50. For context, there were only 3 expansion months in the last 40. 2026 now has 2 of them. Crypto historically performs best when growth accelerates, liquidity returns, positioning is washed. Plus, alts just printed their first bullish MACD crossover in 6 years. Utility run is forming. And we didn't crash on geopolitical escalation. These are the most bullish signals we've seen in 4+ years. Alt season 2026 coded. Let's go. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. All right. We got 11 votes in the poll. I'm going to end the poll. Ladies and gentlemen, the results are in. I asked you guys which of these is the greatest. Number 1, 46% of you guys said Breaking Bad. Number 2, 27% of you guys said Game of Thrones. Number 3, 18% of you said The Walking Dead. And number 4, this might genuinely upset my family. 9% of you guys said The Sopranos. I feel like that's a fair poll. The people have spoken. Tom Selleck said, honestly, the lack of crash is the thing that's got me the most excited. I was expecting to see that move to like 58, 55 on the beginning of the war, right? Yeah, it's been impressive. Not only did we not crash, but Bitcoin got this monstrous like spike on the ISM. So it's not responding negatively to negative news, and it is responding positively to positive news. Those are 2 great things. Lunar Entity said Sopranos being at the bottom of the list is painful. That's what I mean, man. It's not that I disagree with it either. If it was up to me, I'd probably switch to Sopranos with Game of Thrones. But I also recognize that Game of Thrones had probably so much more people, so much more work into it. If you compare the 2 side by side on a scale, as far as art goes, Game of Thrones might take it. But it's very modern, very digital if you wanted to make that stupid argument. And The Sopranos, from like a drama standpoint, writing standpoint, even just like if you look at it from a traditional standpoint, because of like comparing it to Game of Thrones, you could perform The Sopranos on a stage. You can't do that with Game of Thrones at all. At all. So it's definitely a shift in sentiment, I think. Tom Selleck said, "We are so cooked, the youth doesn't know The Sopranos." Lunar Entity said, "Yes, I didn't like Game of Thrones as much as Sopranos. The show went off the rails with the source material. They just fumbled the last season, dude. It was, in my opinion, if season 8 was not fumbled and they would have done the original 10-season plan and they would have planned it out, because the pacing was perfect pacing, perfect storytelling, every character made sense, they had depth, there was character development, the arcs were all, it was like beautiful, it was so well done. And then they got to season 8, they had no more source material. George R.R. Martin was like, it's my baby, but you guys have the reins now. I haven't finished the book. And that Dumb and Dumber were like, okay, I want to go do Star Wars with Disney, so we do this fast. And they effed it up so bad that it like ruined the entire thing, which is such a damn shame, dude. Martin let them screw everything up for money. Now he regrets it. So I don't think it was him. I do think he regrets it, and I do think that he's embarrassed now. But I don't think it was him, and I don't think it was obvious in the beginning that that was going to happen. I think that they did a fantastic job. And then Disney, at season 6, season 7, Disney got a hold of Dumb and Dumber, and they said, hey, we want you guys to handle a Star Wars trilogy. Okay? And they were like, fuck yeah, Star Wars, dude, are you kidding me? That's like, the holy grail would be George Lucas, Star Wars. That's crazy. So they get hyped up. They go, we're not going to do 10 seasons. We're going to do 9. And then they're like, we're not going to do 9. We're going to do 8. And everyone's like, okay. Okay, fine. And then they're like, we're not going to do 10 episodes. We're going to do less. But each one's going to be 15 minutes longer. Semantics, bullshit. And then they're like, okay, this happens. This, like, all of these things. Each climax of each episode, by the way, should have had, like, its own season. They rushed it so bad, and then they finished it. They're like, the show's done. There you go. There's the end. Bye-bye. And Disney was like, you guys fucked that up so bad. We actually don't want you guys to touch Star Wars. After what? Keep in mind, what did Disney do to Star Wars? Even after, like, even before that, while they were planning, they're like, this is a good idea. Somehow Palpatine returned is a good idea. But the Dumb and Dumber from Game of Thrones butchered Game of Thrones so bad that we don't want them. They're like, whoa, we're okay with this dumb shit, but your dumb shit is so dumb, we don't even want you guys over here. Stay in your little HBO place, go to Netflix, make your stupid 3-body problem, kill the third guy that's helping you on it. Just stay the hell out of Lucasfilms. That's crazy. That blows my mind. Lunar Entity said the network probably had him by the balls contractually. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still fully blame Dumb and Dumber. Let's get the next poll going. We're going back to finance. Well, I'm not even typing. Well, Stranger Things. Will Game of Thrones? I don't even know what I'm typing. I'm typing a completely different question. Will Bitcoin break 75K this week before Sunday? Yes. FOMO is taking over. No. Rejection at 70. Whoops. Sticking. Consolidation at these levels depends on Middle East stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Will Bitcoin break 75K this week? Oh, I accidentally said $75. You guys get the point. Will Bitcoin break 75 this week? Yes. FOMO is taking over. No, rejection at 70K sticking. Consolidation at these levels, or it depends on Middle East stuff. Let me know what you think. Bitcoin 68,399 and 396 and 22 cents. All right. Yeah, this is beautiful. ISM PMI explosion, explosion, explosion. Each one got bigger, by the way, as well. The dip got deeper and the rip got steeper. So even without that, we got a dip and we got just like consolidation, which has never happened, by the way. Maybe not of all time, but this ISM PMI consolidation, the sideways craziness on this ISM, has there ever been? Yeah, there's been above. So we got that above. Here's above. There's really been nothing like this below. It's such an odd pattern, too. Yeah. This has never happened before. Since this thing's been like a measurement, I guess right here, maybe? Yeah, that's kind of similar. 61. So we're doing a 1961 to 1962. Oh, wouldn't that be crazy? Because then we got a little touch at 62, and then it went all the way to 66. 61 to 66. That'd be insane. How do I... Yeah, give me over here. There we go. 61 to 66. I can't even do it that way. We'd have to go like that. Man, that'd be crazy. Let's see what plays out, man. Let's see what plays out. All right, Bitcoin down 0.73. Let me get back to the 4-hour, my messy chart. 68,334 and 50 something cents. Lunar Entity said, side note, still can't believe they made a sequel to Dumb and Dumber. Daily RSI is either going to break out or confirm a bear flag at this 21 EMA SMA 50 SMA stack. Tom Sells-Goat said our print this month was just a little higher, right? Like not even a full point. It actually wasn't. The ISM PMI came down 0.2 points. So it's still above 50, but it is below the 52.6 that we had, and we're at 52.4 right now. But it was above expectations and above 50, which is still expansion, but it was below 52.6. So there's one negative, two positives. All right, let's continue. Get me out of here. There we go. All right. Bar chart posted Oracle credit default swaps hit widest level since the global financial crisis. Stocks getting dumped. Look out below. Tom Salzcott said, boo. So I think it might be a little bit boo worthy, but we did get, I'm pretty positive that this is exactly what was like the result of that bullish ISM print, was this big fat green candle. That being said, if we want to go fractal for a moment, we do have a pump and dump right there. We also have a pump and dump right there. So do with that what you will. The pump and dump is a frequent occurrence. We might retrace this entire move. Nobody knows. Stocks getting dumped. Look out below. That was March 1st. Michael Burry was right. This is the greatest buy the dip generation in history. Yeah, S&P 500 sold off and then immediately got bought right back up. That's pretty hilarious. Japanese stocks getting hit hard, now down 1.6%. Crude oil soars to highest price since June. Lunar Entity said it's extremely hard to have a business cycle when globalism is currently being dismantled for neo-mercantilism. I don't know what any of those are. Amazon data center reportedly bombed in UAE. That's crazy. Heating oil soars to highest price in more than 2 years. What the hell is heating oil? Foreign central banks now own more gold than U.S. treasuries for the first time in almost 30 years. Yeah, I think that this statistic is like a couple weeks or a couple months old. Justin, gold on track for its highest closing price in history. Whoa. What? For like the month? What time frame are we talking about? 4.8% of household debt is now delinquent, the highest rate in nearly a decade. That's crazy. Kerosene? I don't know. Maybe it is kerosene. U.S. dollar index DXY jumps to highest level since January. This cracked me up. This is the last one. How it feels when you get home from work and can start monitoring the situation again. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. That is how it feels. That is 100% accurate. I'm not gonna lie. When these movies first came out, I used to get drunk and watch them, and I just like fantasized about how sick that would be to like have a bunch of holographic shit around me all the time. Just be like, I can do anything now. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, man, what would I have done with that? If that technology existed, how would I utilize it to my advantage? I wouldn't. That's just the truth. Maybe now that I went on like a responsible adult path, and I do like architecture work, maybe I could have applied some weird methodology of that to architecture. But even then, if you have it without needing it, do you really need it? Lunar Entity said data sovereignty is the birth of AI, is causing a return to the mercantilist system of the 16th century, which I find fascinating. Imperial factions rising in the 21st century is an unnerving thought. All right, let's look up globalism and mercantilism. I will check those out later. Very cool. All right. We got 4 votes, and we are actually relatively split. I like it. I'm going to end the poll. Portfolio, not really any update. We've retraced some of our moves on most of these. We're still down, what is that, 65%. Here we're down 75%. Here we're down, what is that, 60%. And here we are down 61.5%. And that is it. Bitcoin is chilling, man. 68,353. Let's see where we end up. Lunar Entity said the hoarding of digital information technology is slowly occurring, and the sovereignty of national data is becoming a huge conversation, especially with the AWS outages sparking debates. I think with all of this going on, I am going to spend some money on some stupid computer hardware. Because I want to own a PC. I don't want to rent one. I don't want to have to do any remote bullcrap, cloud computing junk. Tom Salk said, bro, we aren't at the Renaissance Fair. I don't know what that means. But I do have a very cool horn that I got when I was a kid from the Renaissance Fair. That sounds sick when you blow it. It's like Boromir's horn from Lord of the Rings. It's like, it's so cool. I might bring that on stream one time. I want to make sure if I do, though, that the mic can actually pick it up, because I will, like, fully, with my full chest, blow into that bad boy. It's so cool. Anyways, we've been going hour 48 minutes. Not much going on in the market. I suppose I'm going to call it an evening. HQZ said, is SWE still a good buy, or is it over? I like SWE. Let's actually go check on CoinMarketCap SWE status. I think SWE has a good ecosystem. SWE was one of the few that actually kind of started to compete with Solana. Yeah, it's still number 26. I think SWE's a great buy. It is below its launch price, which, you know, each time you see dip, rip, dip, and rip. You got a couple of rips, 2 rips. Are you going to get 2 dips again? I don't know. Time will tell. But it's sitting near its lower levels. It's gone down 50% more from where it's at in the past. It all depends on where the market ends up going, but I think SWE has potential. I do like the technology. Yeah, see, the printing is almost about to taper off, too. Ooh. April. So April might be when SWE starts to really get crazy, because that printing almost disappears. That's crazy. I like that they taper it off. This one's insane, though. Going from 4.4 to 9. They're doubling the supply in 2030. What in the world? Why would they do that? Allocated release after 2030. That's freaking crazy. But yeah, I'm a sweet guy. I get down with the kids with some sweet. Neo-mercantilism is a much more 21st century approach to the imperial system from the 16th century. All right, I will check that out. All right, boys. Happy Monday. Nice bullish ISM print. Let's see if that continues in our favor. As always, when the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday and good night.